It's a pleasure to welcome you to this episode of NAFDAC in Your Health. This is the program where NAFDAC, the agency that regulates food products, drugs, cosmetics, and medical devices, intimates the public on her activities in the drive to protect the health of the nation. My name is Opejemi Urumolade. On today's episode of NAFDAC and Your Health, we begin with the press briefing where the NAFDAC Director-General announced the WHO Pre-Qualification of Afriject 0.5 ml auto-disable syringe manufactured by Afrimedical Manufacturing Ltd. And then we will move on to listen to the management staff of Afrimedical Ltd. On the journey that led to the achievement of the remarkable success. The consistent and frantic efforts of NAFDAC as a regulatory agency charged with the mandate of regulating food, drug, and other products under its control, particularly under the leadership of the current Director-General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, have, over the years, yielded quite encouraging and inspiring results. Apart from further helping to keep Nigerians healthy and building their confidence in the agency's regulatory mettle, the successes of NAFDAC have also helped to transform and greatly develop the local manufacturing industries that deal in products regulated by the agency. Above all, they have also put Nigeria in a pride of place on the global scene, particularly among regulatory agencies and relevant international organizations. Again, the testimony that agencies' regulatory guidance is still relentlessly achieving more successes was proved by the recent announcement by the NAFDAC DG of the attainment of WHO Pre-Qualification of Afriject 0.5 ml auto-disable syringe manufactured by Afrimedical Manufacturing and Supplies Ltd, situated in Ibadan in Ogun State.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control is pleased to announce that Afrimedical Manufacturing and Supplies Ltd. in Ogun State has achieved WHO pre-qualification of a medical device which is 0.5 ml auto-disable syringe after an arduous process guided by NAFDAC and after heavy investment that was made by Afrimedical to achieve this feat. NAFDAC has the mandate to regulate and control the importation, exportation, manufacture, advertisement, distribution, sale, and use of food, drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, packaged water, and chemicals. Since its inception, NAFDAC has thus been regulating medical devices, including in vitro diagnostics. NAFDAC, in keeping with its vision of transformational leadership to be a world-class regulator that ensures only quality and safe regulated products are imported, exported, manufactured, distributed, sold, and used, has embraced global best practices in all its regulatory functions.
NAFDAC's vision of guiding the local manufacturing industry and helping them develop to attain international standards began years back with the formulation of strategic policies.
Such policies included 5+5 regulatory directive, which ensures that products that were previously imported with 5-year registration validity and that can be manufactured in Nigeria are given the last renewal from 2019 of 5 years and thereafter prevented from being imported. In 2023, after the attainment of WHO Maturity Level 3, NAFDAC engaged UNICEF supply chain in Copenhagen. We traveled there, they invited us, and they also engaged UNICEF at a workshop in Lagos for them to patronize locally manufactured medical products, including syringes. Following the country's unfortunate experience during the pandemic, when supply of imported medical devices, including in vitro diagnosis, was disrupted, and the nation struggled to access these commodities, NAFDAC refocused its strategies. To ensure access, the agency assiduously encouraged local manufacturing of quality medical devices such as syringes and in vitro diagnostics. As of 2023, only 3 of the 7 indigenous syringes manufacturers were functional. The 3 functional facilities have a combined installed capacity of over 2.5 billion syringes per annum. However, they were functioning below 20% capacity as they could not compete with imported syringes.
A special focus was put on the syringes manufacturing companies by NAFDAC to help them develop and improve on the quality of their products to international standards.
Upon discovering the available local capacity of manufacturing standard syringes, NAFDAC commissioned a performance evaluation of locally manufactured syringes to assess their quality and performance and gain insight into why they were less preferred than imported syringes. The survey, which included field investigation, sampling, and testing in NAFDAC's laboratory, revealed that locally manufactured syringes were comparable to some of the imported ones but slightly more expensive. It was also discovered that some of the imported ones were of poorer quality. However, in the spirit of continual improvement for the locally manufactured products, the laboratory evaluation results were shared with the manufacturers, and this served as a basis for hand-holding until they improved the quality of their syringes to the highest standards. The hand-holding project involved conducting announced and unannounced good manufacturing practice inspections to assess compliance and to ensure that manufacturers maintain consistent quality standards in their production processes. Non-compliant facilities were guided on necessary corrective actions to improve the quality of their products and safeguard public health. Secondly, there was continual and close engagement with manufacturers to address identified gaps and provide technical support to facilitate swift resolution of such non-conformances, ensuring continuous improvement in production quality. Thirdly, there was random sampling of syringes from production sites and markets for quality testing with identified gaps addressed through guidance from NAFDAC. Fourthly, regular engagements with manufacturers, industry associations, and other stakeholders to discuss regulatory updates, challenges, and best practices. These meetings fostered a better understanding of NAFDAC's requirements and build their capacity through training programs and encourage voluntary compliance. In the hand-holding process, successful efforts of the manufacturers to attain ISO 13485 and improved compliance of local manufacturers with international manufacturing standards enhanced product quality. Also, NAFDAC submitted a brief on the efforts that are being made to ascertain progress and use of international standards to guide the manufacturers, and consequent emphasis by the coordinating ministers. The brief was submitted to the ministers, and the coordinating ministers of health and social welfare emphasized to development partners of the importance of procuring NAFDAC certified locally made syringes.
Indeed, the regulatory guidance of NAFDAC imbued Afrimedical Manufacturing Company with so much confidence in its capacity, spurring the determination of the company to aspire to great challenges, which has today led the company to achieving a monumental success.
Having satisfied the national regulatory requirements for registration of its syringes, opted to challenge itself further to initiate the process for WHO pre-qualification of its 0.5 ml auto-disable syringes. Therefore, it is with great joy and delight that I have the privilege of informing our stakeholders and public that after a rigorous process and a lot of investment by the company, that WHO has pre-qualified Afriject 0.5 ml syringes from Afrimedical Manufacturing and Supplies Ltd. The Afriject syringes have now been added to the WHO list of pre-qualified syringes and are therefore eligible for national, continental, and international procurement by relevant agencies and organizations. This has not only made Afrimedical Manufacturing and Supplies Ltd. the first local manufacturer of syringes in Nigeria to achieve this laudable feat, but also the first in West and Central Africa region. This is undoubtedly the outcome of meaningful collaboration between Afrimedical Manufacturing and Supplies Ltd. and NAFDAC, and the systematic implementation of NAFDAC policies mentioned earlier. With these achievements, Afrimedical Manufacturing and Supplies Ltd. has become the first manufacturer of syringes to be recognized by WHO as operating at an acceptable level of compliance with GMP requirements in West Africa and Central Africa. NAFDAC provided immense technical support throughout the pre-qualification process, including several meetings with key personnel of the company.
With this newly recorded achievement, NAFDAC's commitment is renewed and thus has become more resolute to guide and further collaborate with more local manufacturing companies to achieve even greater successes.
This achievement has strengthened NAFDAC's drive for more collaboration, synergy, and appropriate policy to support Nigeria's manufacturing industries and make them more competitive regionally, continentally, and globally. The agency also appreciates the technical guidance provided to Afrimedical Manufacturing and Supplies Ltd. by UNICEF, UNICEF has keyed into NAFDAC's vision and the country's vision, and also supported the Nigerian federal government's agenda to produce high-quality health commodities.
You've been watching NAFDAC in your health. We'll go on a short break now.
Substandard, falsified, and counterfeit medicine is a threat to maternal and child health. NAFDAC, in its commitment to prevent maternal death and drastically reduce child morbidity, advises healthcare providers to ensure that quality, safe, and efficacious medicines registered by NAFDAC and properly stored are used. NAFDAC requires that registered medicines must have NAFDAC registration number, batch number, manufacturer's name and actual location address, manufacturing date, expiry date, and scratch and test for anti-malaria and antibiotic medicines. NAFDAC advises the general public to purchase medicines from registered pharmaceutical retail outlets as prescribed by the healthcare providers. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Welcome back to NAFDAC in your health.
Professor Mojisola Adeyeye has over the years identified and monitored closely the advancement of the medical devices manufacturing company perceived to possess the potentials of raising the bar to the aspired standards, and with strict monitoring and ensuring good manufacturing practice compliance, huge successes have been recorded. The challenge for the nation to be self-reliant in the area of medical devices, which was posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, was also a catalyst that expedited the advancement of the local medical devices manufacturing companies.
We also have ceiling 34 drugs that cannot be imported into the country because we have capacity to do it, and because we are also hard on our manufacturers in terms of GMP compliance. So this is still the same with medical devices. It's a new area for us. The pandemic showed us our picture, how deficient we are as a continent in medical devices and in vitro diagnostics. So after the pandemic, we started stepping up. Now, what we do is we handhold our manufacturers. When you are handholding, you are being hard on them in a way because you are inspecting them, you are testing, telling them this is not right, this is not right. You go and inspect again. The frequency of inspection is higher than the regular inspection, just to be sure that we have quality product that can be pre-qualified by WHO or that can be traded globally if it is approved by FDA and whatnot.
Of special focus have been the syringes manufacturing companies, determined to ensure that syringes of good quality that meet international standards are produced in Nigeria. The NAFDAC DG was relentless in her drive to ensure the companies are developed and enhanced to begin production to international acceptability.
There used to be maybe 5 or so, but because we were so dependent on imports, some of those closed, and we said no. This minister said no, we will make sure that these companies get to a level where they can be approved. They will use ISO standard. They are already applying for. Some of them are using ISO 9001 and 13485. That is what are needed for medical device. One from Lagos, one from Ilorin, Afrimedical from Lagos and Shagamu area, and HMA from Ilorin.
Today, Afrimedical Manufacturing and Supplies Ltd has been able to etch its name in indelible prints, having had its product, Afriject 0.5ml auto-disable syringe, attain the WHO pre-qualification. As the company basks in the euphoria of the landmark achievement, the General Manager, Gabi Al-Alade, acknowledges that the company did not achieve the success alone.
First and foremost, we extend our sincere gratitude to the Mr. President, the Federal Government of Nigeria, and the NAFDAC agency for fostering an enabling environment that supports in the growth and advancement of local manufacturing. Today marks a significant milestone for Afrimedical, achieving the World Health Organization WHO pre-qualification certificate. This is a testament to the global standard of our products and operation. It affirms that Afrimedical syringes are not only world-class, but also meets the highest levels of safety quality recognized internationally. This achievement is not just a win for Afrimedical, it's a strategic advantage.
Mr. Sharif Olagunju is the regulatory advisor to the Syringe Manufacturing Company.
This is by no means, a very, very great achievement, which has come as a result of high-level investments and a lot of, on the part of the management of the company, and then a lot of commitment, from the staff of the company who have shown so much dedication to ensure that the company complies with all the required standards and to achieve the certification. Also, this has also been made possible, due to the support, and the enabling environment created by the federal government through the efforts of the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has put in a lot to encourage local production, local manufacturing. And this has encouraged investors so much that they have put in their best and invested a lot of money to bring this type of facility into place.
Mr. Sheriff Olagunju particularly extolled the regulatory competence of NAFDAC, commending the agency's Director-General for her unrelenting efforts in pushing the company to achieve the rare success.
The Director-General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has really thrown herself, into the ring by personally, immersing herself to ensuring that the company complies with all the required standards. And they did so much by giving a handhold, with the technical staff of the company who have been coming to Afrimedical to support the staff to ensure that they maintain the best quality and the highest standards in their practices, and they maintain best practices. So this has gone a long way, and the company is really very appreciative to the management of NAFDAC for the efforts and the support that has gone to achieving this certification.
The company's quality assurance manager also reiterates the company's readiness to ensure the standard attained is sustained.
We are going to cope because it's all about sustainability. And Afrimedical is able to do that because we have one of the best processes, the best machineries that you can talk of. Also, we adhere to international standards, which is a guideline for us to sustain this. With our qualification in ISO standards, which we from time to time have to, re-validated, is going to put us in a pace to make sure that we maintain our standard.
That's all we have for you on this episode of the program. NAFDAC and your health will be back again next week. In the meantime, if you have comments, complaints, reports and observations on the activities of those who deal in unwholesome food products and fake or expired drugs and cosmetics, please reach out to us.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email, reforms@nafdac.gov.ng, or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Don't forget, it is illegal to import, produce, advertise, distribute or sell fake or expired food products, drugs, cosmetics, chemicals and medical devices. Don't hesitate to report such activities that you notice to NAFDAC. We will meet again next week. Till then, stay safe.